Good evening, everyone. This is John Lamb. I'm out here in Bozeman, Montana. I've actually got Roger Roots on the line, and we're expecting a call here anytime from a prisoner that's in Pahrump, Nevada detention center. And his case is something that has caught our interest, and we're trying to bring some more awareness to this case. And his name is Omar. His last name is Qazi. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but Roger's on the line here.
Qazi.
What is it?
I think it's Qazi, but it's Q-A-Z-I.
Q-A-Z-I. Yes, that's right. So, and we're expecting a call from him any moment. But go ahead, Roger, if you want to introduce us, and when that call comes in, I'll link him in.
Well, I'll just say I've represented Qazi in a Ninth Circuit appeal on his detention, meaning that he has been denied bail. He's been sitting in jail for 3 years, pre-trial, without a trial, demanding a trial and demanding to be released. And he's been denied bail and held all his time on a petty gun charge. Really, it's just a gun possession charge. Possession by a felon, essentially. His prior felony was a domestic violence case. But anyway, what's important in this case is if he were to be convicted of the alleged offense, he might face, I guess, between 21 and maybe 27 months in jail. And he's already served 3 years while awaiting trial. Now, the thing that attracted me to this case is that it shows how broken the system of bail and pretrial detention really is. It is used to get inmates to plead guilty to crimes they did not commit, essentially. So Mr. Qazi has been in jail for 3 years on a petty gun possession charge. To be convicted, he would be facing no more than, let's say, a year and 8 months. He's already been in there 3 years awaiting trial. And so, you know, I took this case, I thought it was outrageous. Mr. Qazi was sort of referred to me by some of the Bundys. He had been in there with Cliven Bundy, Ryan Bundy, Ammon Bundy. I think all the Bundys that were locked up there during their criminal case came to know him and came to be friends with Mr. Qazi. And so I was referred to the case, and I think he was referred to me through the Bundys. And so anyway, I took the case to the Ninth Circuit, and just yesterday, the Ninth Circuit panel came down with a ruling denying us, in other words, denying his efforts to be released to prepare for trial.
You just notified him of that today, didn't you? This evening sometime, yes. I know I talked to him twice today myself. I did not break that news to him. I wanted you to be able to break it to him, and this interview tonight, I'm hoping he calls just shortly. He said he was going to, but he's looking forward to this interview anyway. He wants to get his message out to the world. He's been, like you said, locked up, and here he's calling right now. He's been locked up in Pahrump for 3 years without any trial. So here he calls in now.
And let me just say, the reason it's been such a delay is, well, there have been a couple reasons. I'll let you go ahead and take that phone call.
Whoops. Hold on just a second. I'm trying to... How you doing there, Omar? Are you on the line now?
How you doing, John? What's going on, man?
Doing good. I've got Roger on here, and we got a live stream going on, and we're going to get your story out here for you, brother.
Okay, awesome. Okay.
So hopefully you can hear Roger also. He's on another line, and we've got it all on speakerphone. So.
Okay. I tried calling Kelli. I don't know what happened there, but Roger, you there?
I am here. Yeah. How are you?
Good. How you doing, sir? Well,
doing good.
So we got a ruling today from the Ninth Circuit, which is unbelievable, to say the least.
Yeah, let me just say, the ruling is about 8 pages long. I got I misspoke. 8 sentences long, about 1 page and maybe 3 sentences on a second page. But it literally did not even address any of the substantive legal arguments that we made before the Ninth Circuit. I'll just read the opinion right here. Quote, "This is an appeal from the District Court's pretrial detention order. We have jurisdiction pursuant to 18 U.S. Code Section 3145. We review the District Court's factual findings concerning risk of flight and the danger that appellant, that's Omar, poses to the community under the deferential, clearly erroneous standards." So they're saying they defer to the lower court unless you can show very good reasons, to overturn the lower court. Then they go on to say, "The conclusions based on such factual findings, however, present a mixed question of fact and law. Thus, the question of whether the district court's factual determinations justify the pretrial detention order is reviewed de novo," meaning brand new, as if there had been no other ruling before. Anyway, the district court correctly found, these are the words of the Ninth Circuit, the district court correctly found that the government has met its burden of showing by clear and convincing evidence that, quote, no condition or combination of conditions will reasonably assure the safety of the community. From Mr. Omar Qazi.
Wow! After 3 years, and
yeah.
just your Second Amendment right that you have a right to carry a gun. It's just so absurd to hold someone 3 years in prison, and then if he pleads guilty, he's safe enough to go back out. We hear this over and over again from cases all over the country. This is not one thing. Omar, I know your time is very short. Did you want to say anything to the public?
Well, I believe this is a high travesty of justice. I mean, Thomas Jefferson even said the two enemies of the people are criminals and government. So let us tie the second down with the chains of the Constitution, so the second will not become the legalized version of the first. I mean, what they've done here is, they're basically ignoring very pertinent arguments that affect the nation, whole. And I mean, this is a quite sharp ruling to not even answer the length of confinement or the legislation arguments, whether it was unconstitutional or not. I believe that this affects our loved ones, our relatives, our kids in the future, and this is not right. And I ask the public, to look into this and ask, demand an answer from our U.S. Attorney Office out here, law enforcement, the police department, and be vigilant in our local communities and what's going on, because this injustice is rampant, especially in the District of Nevada, like we've seen in the recent cases of the Bundys, which have become close friends to mine. It's just sad to see this, and this is happening on a major level, not just myself. Todd Engel is in here with me, who was one of the ones in the Bundy case who got convicted wrongfully on Joseph Lombardo's lies, who is the sheriff of Park County. I mean, we even made a video of the sheriff in here, me and Todd, showing his lies in the first 2 trials. And then there's a video regarding my issue of how I was pulled over, wrongfully pulled over, wrongfully searched the car, and watching the officer in the video planting evidence going in his pockets. These officers are not trained to do that, and we need to hold them liable. We need to hold the prosecutors and the judges liable, because they're violating the Constitution like it's the thing to do, and like it's a normal practice. And I think thanks a lot for the support of these great men here, Roger Roots and John Lamb, and all the Bundys and everyone that supported me, and I thank you all. The Declaration of Independence is really important because it says in there that we're endowed through the Creator of unalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and we need to make sure that happens. So it's important that we all stick united and seeking truth and justice. So it's quite shocking, the ruling today, Because I've served pretty much 2 sentences, even if I was to be found guilty, which I'm innocent until proven guilty, and the evidence will show otherwise, you know. But yeah, this would apply to everyone, you know. Hopefully not, because this is the worst place. I wouldn't want this on my enemy. So.
And this kind of just happened over just a normal traffic stop. Okay. You were stopped there in Las Vegas, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you were stopped in Las Vegas on a traffic stop, and then it resulted in the stop did this gun charge, your Second Amendment right, which is just so bizarre. And now you, like you said, you've spent, and Roger even said it as an attorney, you have spent double the time you would have been if you would have been found guilty. But because you won't plead guilty, they're dragging this case on and on and on and on, and they've held you now for 3 years in Pahrump, Nevada. This is just crazy.
No evidentiary hearings regarding the stop, no trial, just like this is the Inquisition days. And I mean, you know, it's frustrating when the courts are the ones that are ignoring you too, and you're talking to a wall. I mean, you know, the magazine, you know, claimed that I threw a U.S. Marshal over a table. And I mean, they can say what they want, you know, and I wish they charged me if they won't, because they're criminals. And I mean, the thing is, all of the founders have done when people are being when they're showing their powers. And I mean, this is going on and on, and the people that stand up for it are the ones that are being treated like we're horrible, horrendous people who are not, you know. Yeah, I mean, it was a traffic stop, and you know, it's really frustrating.
Omar, Kelli Stewart just actually joined in on the video here, so we have about 80 plus people watching. Roger's on one line, and then Kelli Stewart's on here live too now.
Okay.
Hi, Omar. Omar, can you hear me?
Can you hear her, Omar?
Not really.
Okay, it's a little bit weak for that. I'll move the phone over a little bit. Hopefully, try that again, Kelli.
Hey, Omar, it's Kelli. I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can barely hear you, but okay, I know you're there.
Okay, I'll just.
Well, so yeah, I mean this traffic stop. I mean, in the video presentation that I had put on YouTube, I explained pretty well, and it's quite amazing that I actually did it from in here. And the video shows, you know, a lot of corruption. Not only did the officer just dismantle the car from the inside, it was my mother's car, but, you know, also going in his pockets, who knows what he was doing, you know, probably putting some stuff up back in his pocket, I don't know. But at the end of the day, he stole my personal property. I filed a complaint with Internal Affairs Police Department and actually got a response that he did violate policy. You know, the officer is guilty of that, and so he's supposed to be sanctioned. You know, we have an officer that's not only robbing me, but he's robbing me of my liberty, and you know, just manufacturing evidence, and the government and the court is allowing this to happen. I mean, it's quite shocking issue that even the media will not pick up. You know, they don't want. I guess I don't know why they don't want to answer. But you know, I think it's important that we talk about this and we try to hold them accountable in the police department to see what's going on. That why I cannot even be given pretrial release. You know.
Are you still there?
Yeah. Who's that? Who's that talking?
There's just a couple of different things going on at the same time, I think, but we was mainly listening to you, so you're good. Okay. Well, this is happening to so many people, and you know, as you know, it's not happening to just you. It's happening to many people across this country. Right. What we need is people in every state in this country to stand up and say it's enough. All we need is one voice everywhere. A voice in Montana, a voice in Colorado, you know, a voice in Washington or wherever it's at. And this is how we're going to fix these problems and say we've had enough. And we want men like yourself released. You're not a danger. You've never murdered anybody. You've never harmed anybody. Them charges aren't even on your record.
Right.
And then you get,
And
yeah, go ahead.
I mean, you know, and it's a long story. I wouldn't want to get into all that. But previous conviction, which was a lawful conviction as well, which was they claimed battery with substantial bodily harm, which I now have evidence from the alleged victim saying that it never happened. So she finally came back and told the truth. So, which I'm waiting to get, you know, exonerated on that as well, which was my only felony. Now, and I mean, you know, my past is my past. I may have done some irresponsible things I can accept, but that does not make me a monster for the rest of my life. And, you know, this is an injustice that, you know, even Martin Luther King said injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And I mean, you know, you're right, John, that everyone needs to, you know, go to their congressman, to their local sheriff's department and demand that we have, that they uphold the Constitution, you know. You know, even John F. Kennedy said some very powerful words, which was, I believe, a couple days before his death. He said, "Those who make peaceful revolution impossible make violent revolution inevitable," which is a sad thing to say, but you know, this is what our founders have said too, you know, and we're asking for a peaceful resolution, and we're not getting any answers. So, I mean, yeah, you know, this is it's a shocking thing, but we need the public's opinion on this matter. So, you know, and especially these judges, you know, the Constitution says that they hold office in good behavior, not in bad behavior.
Yes.
And this, my friend, is bad behavior.
It definitely is. What you're looking for, I'm sure, the reason you have not pled out, you want a jury trial of your peers.
Yes, sir, I do.
Yes, and that's what so many of the men there and women that are in that prison there in Pahrump, I know, are asking for, and they're getting it denied. And after 2 years, I know some people personally that have taken plea deals that would not have taken plea deals if they'd have had a jury trial right away instead of waiting 2 years for justice to be served. And that's not justice.
Right. Well, you know, and even in the trial, all the people need to understand about jury nullification. They need to understand that we need to be looking at this not as the arm of the government. That we need to look at it not, are these laws just? Are they being applied justly? You know what I'm saying? The people need to remember that we're fellow Americans. We're your neighbors. You know, we're the people that are, you know, there's a lot of good people that are being falsely accused, and the thing is here too is some people even in here are, even if they are guilty, they're being sentenced to 10 times more than what they even deserve, you know, and I believe people should look into that. They need to be observant in their local laws and the Constitution, and they need to keep reading these important documents. But the founders didn't put them in place for no reason. You know, it's a great thing they did. They fought for us, and we just need to make sure that it's being upheld.
Yes, Kelly has something to say to you real quick. See if you can hear it.
Omar, did you already talk about the fact that you've already served more of a sentence than you would even get if you'd been convicted guilty? Did you guys already talk about that?
Yes, we did. We talked about him serving twice as much time as he would if he'd have pled guilty, or even probably been found guilty by a jury. And he's still sitting there. Yes.
Yeah, and essentially he's suffering because he won't plea out and he wants a jury trial. And so as a result, he's sitting in the jail. I'm so sorry. I was out and my phone died and I just got back into service. I'm really sorry. Tell Omar I'm sorry I wasn't available at 8 for him to call.
He understands,
John, did you already talk, John, about the connection he's had with the Bundys and the things that he's done for Todd Engel and all of that?
Yes, he mentioned a little bit, but Omar, why don't you tell us, since you're going to be short on time and get shut off here in a moment, why don't you tell us that you met Clive and Bundy and all of the Bundys who you've met in there and the effect that they've made on your life?
Well, you know, they're great people, and they, you know, I look at them as what they've done for like the founders have done, you know, and they were willing to stand up just the way I am doing as well. And we should all continue to do that. I met Cliven the first day he made it to general population, and he was with me the whole time. We used to eat together every night. You know, I met all of them: Ryan Bundy, Mel, Davey, Joseph O'Shaughnessy, Jason Woods. I mean, all of them. You know,
you even met the doctor,
my neighbor right now,
the 93-year-old. Yeah, even
Ryan Payne, Pete Santilli. I've met them all. You know, and a lot of people that were held wrongfully. You know, and it was really sad to see, and you know, it's a travesty.
Yeah,
you know, that cannot be forgotten. I mean, the boy Seneca was murdered. I mean, murdered in cold blood. You know, it's just it's sad. Very sad.
John, will you ask him to talk to the viewers about the things that he did to help both Ryan Bundy and Todd Engel prepare for their trials?
Yeah. Could you tell us a little bit, Omar, what actually you have done to help some of the Bundys and some of them prepare for their trial?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I've helped a lot with Ryan Bundy, preparing for his trial, preparing for his detention, release. I did a lot. I mean, I've been helping Todd Engel even right now, and hoping he gets a relief soon. Not just that. They've supported me. I've supported them. I make sure I encourage them to stay strong and fight through this injustice. And you know, they've done the same to me, and I thank them all for that. Very God-fearing people like myself, and this is what we need. We need more people to be God-loving people that love their countrymen, that love each other, and are there for good, because good will always prevail over evil. In the end, good will always prevail. They might win a small battles here and there, but we will win the war, because God is just like that. He loves us, and he does put us through tests, and this shall come to pass.
Yes. Did you ever get to meet Greg Burleson or Jerry DeLoomis?
I did. I did both of them.
Wow.
They were both in my unit for a little while too.
Yes.
And they're sitting in prison right now. I mean, it's quite shocking for the people to watch this, and that there's been years in some of them are still in prison for a simple protest, a First Amendment, right to protest and to carry arms. I mean, it shall not be infringed. My past doesn't make me a monster. It doesn't make it that I cannot protect myself. That these laws, even if it was a correct law, it would be unjust, and it would be a local law, not a federal law. The whole nation is not affected by a person like me carrying a gun, even if I was guilty. Which
That's exactly right.
Which I'm not.
Well, thank you for.
It's about to cut off on us. Thanks a lot. And I'll call back in another 10 minutes if you guys are still on. If not, then farewell, and thank you all.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. We love you, and we'll be supporting you.
Thank you, man. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
And one thing that should be pointed out, he still has no trial date, even now. Been in there for 3 years, insisting on his innocence, demanding a speedy trial, and he has no trial date, even at this moment.
Wow, that's crazy. Can you hear Kelli okay there, Roger?
Hi, Roger.
She's a little bit garbled.
Okay.
So if I'm going to go ahead.
Because she's had too much to drink.
What's that?
Okay. He said you're a little gobbled because you've had too much to drink, which we know is not true. So.
I was actually just out to dinner with my husband for our 18th anniversary. It was actually last night, but we went out tonight because last night was award ceremonies at the kids' school. So, John, I sent you the information last night for Omar's commissary. He is down to $5 on his book. So if we post it, if anybody is willing to apply even $10 or $15, I told Omar that we will make sure it gets applied, and I will do it if necessary. But if I post his commissary at the end of this, if anybody can hop on, he is at the Pahrump Detention Center, just like Ammon and Ryan and Cliven were at. If anybody
Where Todd Ingle's at right now.
Todd Ingle, if anybody already has a Western Union account set up and is willing to put a little bit of money on his books, he would greatly appreciate it. And then, you know, I know that Ryan speaks very highly of him. He said every night he took care of Cliven. He made sure to use his own commissary and make sure that Cliven had an extra meal every night. It's not a big deal to those of us outside who can eat whatever we want. But for an elderly man to not always have extra food in those prisons is a big deal. After 2 years, it can take a huge hit on your health. And Omar was very, very, very aware of that and looked after Cliven. He wrote a lot of Todd's motions for trial, and he also wrote a lot of the motions that Warren has right now that he's working on. Revamping just a little bit, but he's been writing those all, of course, at no cost. He's just sitting in the law libraries willing to help these guys, because he's kind of become like a Ryan Bundy in these prisons, where he spent so much time in the law library that the way they speak of him, they said he's become, you know, like a lawyer / prisoner these last 3 years sitting in the jail. So if we could please help him. Tammy, we don't have a PayPal other than maybe posting Roger Roots' PayPal. Roger is helping him. And then I'll also post the link if anybody can hop in and help him on his commissary. If we could get even $50 applied, that would be huge for him. And then the last thing I'll say is that I'll go ahead and post the YouTube video at the top of this as soon as I sign off. And you can go and watch the dash cams and body cams of the officers during his arrest and watch the video that he put together that I think was done very well inside of the jail. So I'll get that posted as well.
Okay. Do you have anything else to say there, Roger?
Well, there's several angles that we can move on from here on out. We have 14 days to file a motion for a rehearing, which I believe we're going to do. So it's not over, but it's certainly very disappointing from the Ninth Circuit.
I know Omar was very disappointed when he heard the news. I actually did not want to give it to him, so he called me twice this evening before we got on this live stream, and I kept telling him, you need to call Roger. So he finally called you and got that news, I know, from you. He also called Joe O'Shaughnessy. He hadn't talked to him since they had been incarcerated together there in Pahrump, so that was I think a good call there. Joe has messaged on here and said, release Omar. So they're all like brothers.
He did try to call Ryan Bundy this week, but Ryan didn't have any money on his phone account, and Omar at the time didn't have any money on his, so he actually had to hang up the calls. So again, if we could get some money on Omar's books, then he can reach out and be able to communicate with Ryan Bundy and some others. That would be awesome. So I will, if you're able to do that, if you could please comment that you're willing to send some money to him, because if the money doesn't get sent, we will make sure that it gets sent. But if anybody listening is willing to send him money, it's a Western Union account through the Pahrump jail system. I'll post his number. John, I texted it to you just so that I wouldn't lose it. But we'll get that information posted. And if anybody can help, you can comment whatever the amount is. And that would be really appreciated by Omar. He is
I see Denise here just made a comment. Looks like Kelly might have froze on her live feed on that other side, but Denise said she will do it. I know that, and Roger is the one who's been doing the legal stuff behind it. Thank you, Denise, for that. You are a blessing that will help Omar out tremendously. And I know Omar told us earlier that he had like only $20 left on his commissary totally. And these phone calls that it really cost quite a bit of money. Looks like we might have lost Kelli Stewart there, but she will post that these links to the YouTube, Roger Roots' PayPal, and also this other link here. So Kelly's actually calling on the phone on the other line, so we'll see if we can pull her in for a minute here. Did we lose you, Kelly?
No, I'm PayPal. I'm still on there, but Omar called my phone, so it took me off of the live stream.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay. Well, I've got you on a speakerphone now, so.
Okay, I have Omar on with me.
Yes, I can hear you there again. Yes, we are. We're still live, and so if you have anything else you want to say, yet go ahead.
You know, this is not how you make sure someone goes to court. I mean, you know, and the Bundys have to live through this too. And, you know, these are innocent people that are being held like this, and it's nationwide. And
Yes.
you know, if one person could, for one day, just go and put yourself in a closet, go and watch no TV, feed yourself bologna sandwiches, and then you can understand how it feels to be sitting and here, you know, without your family and all this, and it's just nothing but torture. And you know, yeah.
Omar, I think it's so important that people start to learn and sympathize with you, because this is America, where we're supposed to be innocent unless proven guilty. But if you can sit for 3 years waiting for your day at trial, you've basically already been convicted as guilty if you're serving the punishment of a guilty person. This should enrage every single American out there who waves a flag. If you wave an American flag, you should be irate that the land of the free, because of the brave, is treating prisoners this way.
Right. I mean, you know, yeah, the founders, they were very brave. Their sacred honor. They you know, this is not what it was built on. You know, they feared God first, and you know, everything they did was for us. And the flag should be upside down right now for the way it is in society, and it's sad. It's what it is.
Omar, do you remember when we came and camped outside of the prison? Were you in Pahrump at that time?
I do. Actually, Ammon Bundy was. I believe he was in the pod next door at the time. And when something happened, and they took him to solitary confinement over like a shirt that was snatched, some nonsense, and they had him locked up in a shower for about 13 hours, I believe. You know, without, I mean, just sitting in there with handcuffs on, and yeah, I believe, you know, you guys were out there protesting, and you know, it brings joy to us when we were in here to see you guys out there, you know, supporting all of us, really. And,
so it did encourage other prisoners. It did encourage you to know people were out there being your voice.
Definitely. I mean, you know, I remember I was with Clive, and I believe it was 4th of July. We saw fireworks going on.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, that's been one of the greatest days of America. And you know, it was good to see. It really was. And you know, I told Clive, and I said, "Hey, look, they're doing that for you."
I remember.
And anyways,
when all
yeah.
the fireworks
What's that?
off, everybody thought it was us, the protesters outside the prison. But there was someone else that done all that fireworks. But it was a great fireworks show, and we was glad they put that on because the whole prison got to see it.
Yeah, that was the end of May when we were camping there. I remember sitting up on the hill seeing that. Omar, do you think does it surprise some of the prisoners that more people outside aren't protesting constantly with what you guys are suffering through? Do you ever just feel like, you know, why aren't more people outside?
Well, you know, it's sad, but I believe most of society, most of the people, they know that our system is corrupt, but they fail to watch it with their own eyes. They cover it up like it's not happening to like it's like it could never happen to them or their loved ones. You know, but I know people in here that are absolutely innocent, and there's proof of it, but they won't let them have their trial, or they just hold them in here, you know, and they get a couple of years out of them and say, hey, you know, you can go now, or we'll just dismiss. And it happens all the time. It's quite shocking, the stories I hear in here. And I mean, like I said, 3 years of stories, I've heard some shocking stuff that would people would not believe, and people being followed for miles just because, and you know, sitting in here because the government's spying on us, or all types of stuff.
Yeah, you know,
I believe
a lot of people really believe when the Bundys were released that justice was served on January 8th. But what they don't understand is that was actually their government covering up their crimes.
absolutely,
If the trial had continued on and more exposure had come, the Bundys would have all been acquitted by a jury of their peers, so not guilty. But the government would have then had a lot of answering to do. And so it's really sad when people say, wow, charges were dismissed. Isn't that a victory? I say, no, that was the government covering their tracks.
Right, and as a matter of fact, Stephen Myrie, the lead prosecutor, see, the thing is, back in I believe, off the top of my head, I think it's 2002, there was a case, U.S. versus Chat, in the Ninth Circuit, where he was held for prosecutorial misconduct in violation of the Constitution by the Ninth Circuit, and he is still a U.S. prosecutor. There's something wrong with that picture. He has also done the misconduct in the Bundy case. I mean, you know, and we all need to make sure he's held liable. He cannot continue serving the people when he's been found guilty twice of withholding evidence. And
Well, he's actually already been transferred to the Las Vegas massacre case. He's the lead prosecutor in the Las Vegas case.
Well, you know, and right now it could be called a conspiracy theory, but I believe there's a mass cover-up in that too. You know, they're putting one of the worst persons to prosecute it or to watch over it. I mean, this is that's not unreal. Yeah, it is. It's unreal. But like I said, you know, people need to understand that the government, the agents are our servants. It's not the other way around. You know, when the government fears the people, there's liberty, and then when it's the other way around, it's tyranny. You know. So, anyways, but yeah, I mean, you know, all the Bundys, you know, it's great to see them. They're out now, and they have their rights, which they always had. That was stripped from them. You know, now they can protect their families and work and do things that we're supposed to do. But yeah, you know, it's sad, but I don't know if I can. America is not the place for me anymore. I mean, I don't know. I don't see how I can even feel safe in a place called Land of the Free with these criminals. You know, and it's actually scary.
Yeah. More and more people are waking up to that fact and realizing that we're only safe if we comply and we do everything we're told by our masters. But, you know, that's not Land of the Free.
No, and actually, everyone that's being oppressed must speak up. You know, the only reason that they haven't thrown me in a dungeon or anything is because they know that I'm outspoken. They know that I will fight against tyranny. You know, I thank God for the wisdom for everything that, you know, I've gained a lot of knowledge from this experience, and I've become what you can call a constitutionalist. I've learned a lot of law and a lot of stuff, and you know, and I'm trying to better help other people as well. I'm actually taking a course in paralegal right now, you know, at least for the knowledge. But I tell people all the time, everybody in here, you know, when there's something wrong going on, I'll make sure I speak up, even if it's something with this institution, which is like a concentration camp. But, you know,
Omar, people don't like it when we talk like that. When we talk about concentration camps or the gas chambers, people really resist it. So it's interesting that you would bring that up, being on the inside, because it's something that's very difficult for people in everyday life to hear and to accept. They think we're being extreme when we say it.
Right. Well, see, here's the thing: it's very sad what happened you know, in those days in the Holocaust and all that. You know, what they're doing to now is the modern day American version of it. Where people do not want to accept it. The truth is hard. It's hard to accept. When these CCA officers in here are technically the type of people that seem like the Nazi you know, officers in Germany that basically they're told, here, just watch these people. It's your job. I'm just doing my job. You know, there was a 93-year-old doctor next to us. I was actually here for this time, and Todd Engel and the doctor, Henry Wessler, the doctor, 93-year-old man, was taken to solitary confinement, along with Todd, simply for protesting about a stupid issue about putting your boxes underneath your bunk. You can't put your cup on your box. I mean, you know, and it was not just them that were speaking up. It was all of us. You know, it was Mel, Dave, me, you know, Mel Bundy, all that, all the Bundys, me, and then a bunch of people that we all stood up and said that what you guys are doing is wrong. Leave us alone. You know, we're innocent people in here. And anyways, the doc, you know, like I said, very old, frail man, great man, by the way, and he gets up and he goes, you guys are treating us like animals. Stop that. You know, stop doing that to us. And then they came in here with a whole bunch of officers and took him to the hole. And we're just doing our job.
He told John and I that story after he was released, and I thought, there's no way they took you to the hole for saying they're animals. He said, that's all I said is you treat us like animals, and they drug me away and put me in the hole.
Right. Well, see, and that's the thing is you know, we have eyewitnesses in here. You know, and this is when you have several eyewitnesses. This is a fact. This is not a conspiracy. This is not a fairy tale. This is going on in our backyards all over the country.
Yeah.
You know, and
people don't want to accept it because in order to bring change, they're going to have to risk their own security and their own good name and their own fortune. And people are afraid. We're not the land of the brave anymore. That's why you're sitting in that jail for 3 years on a fake gun charge, because we're not the land of the brave, and that offends people greatly when I say that. But if we truly were the land of the brave and veterans were important, then Jerry DeLoomis would have already been pardoned by President Trump, and there would be veterans circling every prison protesting against the concentration camps that are happening in the United States of America.
Right. Well, this is actually PNOS, involuntary servitude, legalized version. And yeah, you know, you're right. Absolutely right. And you know, the thing is, you know, even the founder said that, you know, let it be in my day so our children will not suffer. Well, you know, thank God that, well, you know, I'm make sure I will be a great advocate to justice, and I will keep fighting along with all of you. And I pray that we all get together, you know, I'm talking the whole nation as a whole, to come together as Americans, not as anything else, but as Americans.
Yeah.
And you know, to fight any injustice, anything. Yeah. And because until it happens to most people, then they will realize, oh, they were right, you know. But it shouldn't even get that far. They should not let it even get that far. And like I said, people need to be observant in their communities, and they need to know what's going on. And you know, they can even look at my case as an example, the Bundys as an example. The Bundy case was a major travesty. I mean, they had snipers, you know, overlooking their house. This is a government agents with snipers, and we recently found out, which no one really knows yet, but there was actually range cards, which I believe was just like Ruby Ridge. And a range card is basically when you have a card saying how much of a distance to set your sniper on for your scope of your gun. It was completely premeditated. Yeah, they were ready to kill. And this is a range card that they were basically giving out to their agents, saying if you're on this location, it would take you this much to zoom in to shoot. Yeah. But you would not have that on a card unless you're ready to shoot.
Yep.
You know, and that's very scary, very sad that our government that they're supposed to be there protecting us and upholding the Constitution, we're violating that Constitution.
Yeah.
Violating their ethics and morals, you know?
People think I'm crazy when I say it's time for our military to come in and remove all the terrorists legally that are running all of these capitals across the country that have been committing treason by writing away our constitutional rights with a pen. But they say the military can't be on U.S. soil, and I say, what are you talking about? The military is all over U.S. soil. That we've militarized our police at this point, and we are completely under siege at this point by complete traitors to the United States Constitution. Where are you at? You don't see this.
Well, all it takes is to watch a few of the police shootings that have been called justified. As a matter of fact, I even believe one was recent in Las Vegas, and the guy was running away, and he got shot in the back.
Yep.
You know, this is justified?
Yep.
No, it's not justified. This is hiding their so-called authority. Yeah.
Right. Their murder that they're happening. You know, well, you're probably going to cut off shortly because we're at about 17 minutes, but somebody recently said that we needed to tell our state representatives to oppose a new gun control act, a new law that they're trying to pass. And my comment to them today was just the fact that we have to tell our representatives to oppose this should tell America how far gone our constitutional republic is. The fact that these laws even get to the point of being voted on when they are completely unconstitutional should tell America that we have a really big problem when our state representatives do not know the Constitution and are even presenting these laws for us to vote on in the first place.
And you're right. As a matter of fact, I forget if it was Paris and even one locally in Vegas or in other places, but when people run people over with trucks, do we shout, we need truck control? Do not go to U-Haul. Right? I mean, the Constitution is very plain and clear. You have the right to protect yourself with arms, and this shall not be infringed. I mean, you have the right to bear arms, period. There's nothing more, nothing less, and they have tried to twist it as much as they can, try to change our Constitution to. I mean, everything has been changed. The grand jury, the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, holding people pre-trial. I mean, this has been only happening since '84. You know, people think it's just a normal thing. No, it's not. You know, and we've been arguing that the legislation was actually expired and actually done unconstitutional, and we brought it up to the Ninth Circuit, and it was absolutely ignored. But you know what that means? That's a tacit admission that we are right.
Yep.
Which means that everyone being held pre-trial the way they are doing it is absolutely unconstitutional nationwide. And you know, it's like I said, we need to make sure this is brought to all the public.
1 minute remaining.
And even the media, you know, this is not something to allow. This holding people to the team is absolutely wrong.
Yeah, it is. Omar, if you want to call back tomorrow, that you can, and then I also got the email set up, so we'll be able to communicate that way.
Okay, I'll give you guys a call later on or tomorrow. Thanks again. And
don't give up, Omar. We won't forget about you, okay?
I appreciate it. I really do.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, everyone, that was Omar. He's in prison there in Trump. He's right now just a bunker or so over from Todd Engel. And we're trying to get his story out. We still, I think, have Roger Roots on the line and Kelli Stewart both. Roger, are you still on there?
I'm still here.
Well, thanks a lot for hanging in there. I mean, I know this has been an important night for Omar to get his message out. He's been wanting to do this for quite some time, and we're glad that you're part of that case and helping with it. I know you've got your hands full there trying to do what you can for him.
Yeah, like I said, we've got 14 days to file a motion for a rehearing, and we're planning on doing that. It would be great to get some other lawyers on board with some candidates to really increase the profile of the case. Eventually, if we're denied the rehearing, the next step, of course, would be the
Did I hear it right, or am I understanding it right, that he does not even have a trial date set at all at this time?
No, he does not. And the reason is the government has challenged an evidentiary ruling by the district court. So there's an issue about whether or not he gave a statement and was properly Mirandized. And the lower judge basically ruled in his favor that his Miranda warnings were not given properly. The government then appealed that ruling. Okay, so that's a separate appeal to the Ninth Circuit, a separate case number, separate case. That case is still pending, and all actions at the trial level are basically being held, while the Ninth Circuit rules on that other appeal. So we are literally waiting for a Ninth Circuit appeal by the government. Now, this goes to show you that the government is allowed to delay a trial. Just absolutely by appealing these lower court rulings, and the lower court still won't let Omar out.
Wow.
Crazy.
Well, do you have anything else to say, Kelly?
Well, I hope that we made it very clear what an asset Omar has been to these political prisoners the last 2 years, and how much he has looked out for them, and the countless hours he has spent investing in them. Both Ammon and Ryan spoke out, and they're the ones, Ryan's the one who contacted me about Omar and asked if we would kind of take him under our wing. He said that he has been an absolute blessing to the entire defense, a group of defendants there in Pahrump, and that his case should absolutely shock the conscience of every American who learns it, to know that he is sitting in jail longer than the actual crime of having a gun next to him as a felon would have even landed him if he pled guilty. And so I just hope people will come on board and support him, and we can find a way. I'm so thankful that Roger's helping him. Did you already tell people, John, that that Omar is part of why we were doing that fundraiser for that Ryan Bundy asked us to do?
I did not mention that. That's something I did forget to do.
Okay, so when we did the fundraiser and we said if you send in $50, you get a signed Constitution, which you guys all should have those by now or have those any day. Everything has been shipped out. And then one person also won a dinner with their entire family at the home of Angie and Ryan Bundy. And Ryan was doing that to help get some funds raised for Roger. He's been working countless hours for the defendants in Nevada as well as for Omar. And Ryan wanted to make sure that Roger had the funds needed to file the appeals that Omar had, and then also continue helping the others on these other the lawsuits that they're being, that were being done for Oregon and all of that. But Omar was a part of that. So, so this live stream you're doing right now, just so the public understands that this is the one we talked about doing after that fundraiser, to let you guys know, who Omar was and why Ryan Bundy was so passionate about making sure he got the help that he needed.
Okay, well, that's great then. And we still got a long ways to go for him. I know some people are saying some of us are loud and clear and some of us are a little bit hard to hear. I think it's because of all the technology we got here trying to put everybody in. It's not been that easy here. It's something that I'm still learning, and several of us are, but we had literally tied in 3 other people here online on this live stream at the same time, so it's been quite difficult. So sorry about all that, but hopefully you got the gist of it.
Yeah, all right. Well, I'm going to sign off so we can finish heading home. And again, I'm sorry about the technology difficulties for me tonight. My phone died, and I was away from my phone for over an hour. But thanks for taking this on, John. And thank you, Roger, for your efforts in the Bundy case in Oregon and Nevada, and with all the defendants and all the other tons of people that you help and the countless of hours you spend. Roger, you're an absolute asset to us, even though most of the public do not realize who you are or what you do. Please know that we appreciate you, and please do not quit or give up on these prisoners.
Thanks a lot, Kelly.
All right, bye, guys.
Thank you, Kelly.
You have any final words there, Roger, on the case or anything that you're doing there that could to sum it all up here at the end?
Well, I think the word is perseverance. We just have to keep going. And, we're always facing obstacles. We just have to figure out how to get around them.
Well, thanks a lot, Roger, then, for joining us. And I appreciate everything you're doing for all these prisoners. It's been awesome. So I'll talk to you here later,
Well,
Roger.
thank you, John.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Well, thanks a lot, everybody, for joining us. Trying to connect everyone there and keep all the voices loud. It wasn't quite just real easy, but hopefully you got the gist of what's going on there with Omar. We will keep you updated as much as we can throughout the next few weeks as this case unfolds for him. And Roger continues to file more motions. Like he said, he has like 14 days to file another motion in response to just what happened here yesterday. Kelli Stewart's been very involved with helping with Omar's message, getting it out there. We got a YouTube link that Kelly's going to post on this stream later, or I will. We'll tag it all in there. A way to support Omar, to send some funds in there, and also to support Roger Roots, who's handling the case. Oh, again, Omar is in Pahrump, Nevada Detention Center. It is a prison for profit. It's a holding facility. He's been there for 3 years without a trial. He should have had a trial a long time ago. He was found, he wasn't found guilty. He's being charged with a gun-related charge in a traffic stop in Las Vegas. He never did use the gun. The officers found the gun in the vehicle, charged him with illegal possession of that gun. If he was found guilty, or if he took a plea deal that had been offered to him, he would get less than half the time he's already served. So he served twice as much time as he should have if he would have been found guilty by a jury or even pled guilty. So these kind of things should not happen here in America. Omar should be released, and he should be out of jail by now, even on a pretrial release, waiting on trial, because they don't even have a trial date set. But again, thank you everybody for joining us. I'm here in Montana right now. I don't know where the next place I'm going to be exactly. I've got several places that I've got plans on going to check out other cases. I do know that I plan on being in Oregon the 27th of this month for Ryan Payne's sentencing hearing. We're praying that Ryan Payne will get released at that time with time served. But we have some more information coming out on Ryan Payne that we'll let you know here just shortly. Ways that you can support his family or Ryan Payne when this is coming up. His whole family is wanting to go over there. All 3 of his children, his fiance, and his mother. All 5 of those, I think, are for sure wanting to be in Portland for that sentencing hearing for Ryan, just in case he's released. So we'll keep you updated and posted as we know new developments there. And any new cases that come up that we're finding out across this country, we're going to share them. We're going to let you know so that we can spread this word and let these people's voices be heard from wherever they're at, because we are their voices. Thanks again for joining us. God bless. And until next time, have a good evening.